Hey there, welcome back guys. In this video we're going to show you the setup for the Pavo20 Pro if you want to fly it slower. You're new to FPV and you just can't fly in that bullet time experience like your Quicksilver. Well, without any further ado, let's get started. We got you covered because I myself love flying slow. I mean, I fly in bullet time, but there's like no downtime. You literally have to be on your toes every second throughout the flight. Of course, there's no pause button, but you know, you can streamline everything to work just right for you. One of our viewers slash subscribers actually gave us the rates and helped us slow down the drone, if that makes any sense. So, you know, this is for the new guys that don't want to fly in acro mode, want to do angle. You can still go into acro, you know, every now and again when you're ready. But let's see, let's jump into it. So you're going to have to need the little cable that goes into your drone. I have a video that shows you how to make this cable if you break it or something happens. We got you covered there. I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. So yeah, let's just plug it in and then jump right in it. All right, let's see. So I also have the GPS setup on here. So the GPS setup on here is there. It's on the buzzer, but it's the GPS with 3 cables. If you want to control the GPS the way you control, not GPS, sorry, the buzzer. If you want to control the buzzer the way you control the LEDs, you're going to have to, you know, maybe sacrifice the light or set it up the way I have it set up in the video. Okay. All right. So knowing that, moving forward, we're just going to go down all these things right here. We have our ports. Okay. So this is in case you lost your settings. We're just going to go down everything here. UART1, as you can see right here, that's where the GPS is. Okay, so that's the T1 and the R1 that's on the chip on the flight controller. Okay, and we have here GPS, and then we have our baud rate. You can find your baud rate if you bought your GPS from Amazon, whatever site you bought it from. In the specs, it'll tell you the baud, and that's how I found that number. Okay. And then you have, we're not using UART3, but we have here UART4, and that's for our goggles, the MSP, and all that other fun stuff. And then you have UART5, similar experience, part of the same family. You just copy these in case you lose them. So here, all these I left by default, didn't change anything. You have here the board and sensor alignment, that's what I have. You know, feel free to copy these settings if you need be. I'll just activate the cursor, right? In case any of you want to follow along with the bouncing ball. All right, so then we have here, and then I'll just activate the cursor. Again, we have here, these are all my settings. I have here, depending on how you have your flight controller, upside down, right side up, inside out, you know, these are my settings for the positioning of my flight controller. Don't mess with them because by default, everything is good to go. You can name your aircraft. I call it Pavo20 Pro. I have a Pavo Mobula combination because we took the chip from the Pavo Pico and put it on the Mobula 8. It works just as good. And then we have here, you want to turn off, I don't know, all these are fine here. We have a GPS on. If you have a GPS, we have a LED strip, then we have the OSD. Oh, air mode. Turn off air mode. That'll help you for the new guy. Just make sure it's off. In the beginning I was flying with it on, but I found it so much better when I turned it off and just leave angle or acro. All right, and then here, all these are left by default. The only thing I did do was set the D-shot beacon configuration to 5 because it's so low. But with the buzzer on there now, it's just so much better. All right, so just feel free. And then what I'll do is I'll leave a link to this in the GitHub repository in case you won't like these settings and you just feel like flashing them instead of pausing the video and just like switching your configuration as you follow. This I don't touch. If something's missing, you can add it, but just I keep away from it if you don't know what it is. Just again, keep away from it if you do not know what it is because you can just fuck shit up. All right, knowing that PID tuning, the one moment you've all been waiting for. So you can have multiple profiles. One of our viewers, Afix, and subscribers, actually shared with us how we can, you know, have different profiles. As you can see, this is profile 2, and then you can have profile 1. So if you like, you know, particular rates on a particular day, or if you're going to switch to, you know, a particular mode, just, you know, do that from here. All right, so you can see the different rates here. These settings here we left the same, but one of our viewers, FPV Unknown, so grateful to them because they gave us the settings for this right here. We have the throttle boost set to 5, and the motor output he had suggested 75 for my liking because I don't like flying in bullet time. So, you know, again, if you want to just have that low and slow and smooth, that works for me. You know, they always say PID rates are preference, but it was kind of hard to find these rates because everyone I asked were like, I was like, how do you slow it down? And they're like, but why? I'm like, why not? You know? And then finally, 2 people came in and were like, we got you covered, don't worry. Liam actually gave us the PID rate so that it will show on the next profile along with FPV Unknown, combination of both, which is just great. So we are forever grateful to them. So yeah, so for that, everything stays the same here. We have the roll 190, pitch 190, and the yaw 50. This is for center sensitivity. And then we have the max rate for the roll 550. And then the pitch 500 and the yaw 400. We also put these settings in the Avata too, in the Neo. It just worked phenomenal. There was one particular drone that was fair. I think it was the Pavo Pico. So the smaller drone was not so successful with these rates, but I need to test it again. So yeah, so these are the settings here, but they work great on the Avata 2, the Neo, and all the other drones moving forward. The throttle limit was set to off, and then the mid throttle we have at 0, and the throttle limit at 100 here, which was suggested. You could change this, but again, these, you know, this was actually what worked well for me, because things were getting a little glitchy after changing them. You know, the other, I think we had 75 here, and then we put the 75 on the other part, which I believe was in the configuration down here. Was it down here? No, hold on a second. It was on the PID tuning, not here. Oh yeah, down here. See, so we put the 75 there. It's actually here in PID tuning, okay? And this is rate profile. And again, throttle mid 0. You could change these, play with it if you know what you're doing, but for me, I was just guided through this. I think it was, you know, through email and live streaming. And then that's it. You know, that's pretty much all we have here. We have our receiver. We have the UART set up. I have S-Bus only because everything here is in the DJI ecosystem family. Didn't touch this, but you can always, like, you know, make sure your settings, whoops, something shut off. Make sure your settings are there like that. And then our modes, okay? If something's not working, make sure your modes are correct. This is for the DJI ecosystem. Another receiver is going to be a different experience. I have my aux2 there, I have my angle mode there, and I have my horizon there, which I occasionally use, and then I have my beeper. My beeper is set here. The beeper is a little bit different, but this is, I'm using aux5, which is this button over here. I'm going to put this on to get ready to show you guys how it works. And again, if you want your beeper to work, I think you just have to either open up UART3 or get a beeper that has 2 wires. If you have a beeper that has 2 wires and you plug it in, not plug it in, but solder it in to the port that says buzzer minus and buzzer negative, then it'll work just like the light switch for the LEDs. But if you don't, if you have one with 3 wires, you'll just have to press the button on the there. I'll show you just the way so you know. I'm just putting this over here, getting things out of the way because things are about to get freaky. All right, so knowing that, moving forward, and then I have flip crash. Flip crash actually works if the drone flips over. I don't have any issue with that. You can start it up and then throw the power in and it flips back over. And then user 1, see, and then we have here, and then voila. And I believe that's it. User 1 is for the LED. And if you don't see anything, right, you'll close this like that, hide unused modes, and then you'll activate it by, let's say, for example, I will close this again. So let's say my beeper, 1500 to 2000. So I'm going to delete it, right? And then save it, let it reboot, and then disconnect, and then connect again, and then go to modes, and like, look, I don't have a beeper. Hey, Lou, how do I do my beeper? Just press the button. It's not going to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to close this right here, and then look for beeper. See, there it is. And then add range. And remember, it was 1500 to 2000 right there. And then we'll save it. And then let's see what happens if it's right there. And see, there it is. Yay! Except it was UX. I don't remember. I think it was UX 5. Let's see. I think it was 5. Anyway, so we'll leave that there. We'll test it out in a second. So now we're going to take a battery, see what this does. And I'll show you how we get the buzzer going, and you know how if it was on the other if it was on the LED connection, it would just be so much better. And then hold on one second. GPS, it's all here. I have U-blocks. I thought I had Galileo selected. Oh yeah, Galileo's right there. GPS works fine. I think it's more of a gimmick on these particular drones. It's hit or miss. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, because it takes forever to freaking load. And then we have the OSD. I have this is all preference. I like the distance thing. So if let's say your buzzer doesn't work, it'll tell you how many feet you are from your home point, which is kind of cool. And you'd be like, oh, I know where 10 feet is from that particular spot. Then you just good luck finding it. But the buzzer works really well, so you'll be fine there. And then here, I'm just gonna LED strip. It's fine. Leave it. Don't touch it. I mean, for me, I don't. You can play with it if you want. And then just type in dump. I'm gonna DUMP. All right, and I'm gonna save this. See, save to file. Make sure you know where the directory is. I'm gonna call this with buzzer. Don't be a buzzkill. And then save it. So now it's on my desktop. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find it. It's right there. And I'm just gonna go here, new folder, put it in a folder, and then go here, type in Pavo20 Pro with buzzer, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna zip it, compress it, and now no matter what, you can't screw it up. You need to do a restore. Drone crashes, you get a new one. You can always now I just do view by date. Let's see, and there it is. So you could never mess it up, no matter how hard you try. Or even better, I could do a backup of the backup, keep both. Voila, now I have a backup of the backup. It's there forever. All right, so let's just go into this little thing. I'll show you how this will work with the, first we'll get it to hover, and then we'll work some magic. I'm going to take these off. And, oh, it shut off. So just turn on your goggles first and your remote controller first. This way, let them sync. This way, because these batteries don't last very long. And by the time everything syncs, you're like, wait, I have to land? Yeah, that's how it is with these. And you get like 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 2 minutes, depending on your battery. This one I get probably 3 to 4, depending on how you fly. The more you throttle it, the faster you fly, the shorter the flight time. But if you fly like me, you're fine. I get 3 to 4 minutes is plenty for me. And I don't fly far. I just fly around, around the house or in the park. And because the further you go, the more signal you're going to need. All right, so here we go. And then that requires more power. See, it's sunk. So let's see if the LED works. See, that's this one. So this one is UX 5. Except the buzzer, the buzzer's not connected. So I just connected the buzzer. I forgot why, to be honest with you, but very easy to reconnect it. But I'll show you how it's connected. See, it's gonna, so I can just, buzzer I believe was this one. No, that's LED. Oh, so I guess I have the buzzer and the LED on the same track. Oh no, I don't. There's the buzzer. But the only problem with the buzzer is that because it has a switch, I have to press the button down here to actually shut it off. Otherwise it's gonna go beep, beep. I'll fix this later though. See, now it's off. And now we can get it to hover. Well, don't worry, I'll show you the buzzer settings in a second. I mean the buzzer on a different connector. Guess we'll put this here. And again, you want to be in angle mode when indoors. Oh, even though people fly these indoors in acro, but this is for the new guy that can't, you know, you just can't operate in bullet time, and you just want to be able to hover your drone. All right, so now, for me, my buzzer setup, I have to arm the drone, and then, whoops, arm the drone, and then let it go down, and then press the button by hand to shut it off. Now it's off. And now I'm gonna, whoops. See? Come closer to the camera. So these are the settings and rates. Whoa. That will allow you to just not, you don't want to operate in bullet time, right? You just want to control it gently and whoa, and slowly. And slowly. Whoa. That's the hardest part. See? And then land it. Now the buzzer's going to go off again, but that's because it's a 3-wire buzzer, right? And that's just the way it's set up. But if you want to set it up to be on the kill switch, you just have to swap it. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. See, now it's going to buzz, which is fine, because I'll be like, wait, where's my drone? Where did it go? See? So we'll just click it from there. But if you take the buzzer, right, and if you wire it, if it's wired onto the spot, I'll show you. I'm going to swap it. Actually, I wonder if I could swap. Oh, I can't swap it because, yeah, maybe I could, because the wire is right here. I don't know. I'll try that later. So here's the buzzer. Don't be a buzzkill. And if we take the buzzer, right? So if it went onto the T1, right? And we swapped them, then it would just be a different setup. Hold on. Watch, I'll show you. As long as it doesn't die out before. Hold on. See? So now, here's the buzzer. And if I put it, now that it's on the same switch as the LED, watch. See? On, off, on, off. Because the yellow wire is the switch. And because we put plus the ground, which is the black wire, on the buzz minus, and the red on the buzz plus, buzz positive, and then the yellow on the red, then that's why it's set up that way. But you really want it to be hands off, which is like this, watch. See, where's my drone? Where's my drone? Where's my drone? You don't want to have to every time be like, okay, now I gotta flip the switch. And the only way around that is to get the one with the two wire buzzer, not a 3-wire buzzer. If you get a 3-wire buzzer, you're just gonna have to sacrifice your LED. I mean, why am I gonna sacrifice my LED? I love flying this thing at night. Looks really cool. See now, and every time you flip the switch, it's gonna do that. Every time you do like a power cycle. And then what happens is, and the only way to shut off that power cycle is to have access to the switch. And then I tried putting it on, see, and then I got, oh, let me just press it. And it'd be hard to do with a real quadcopter that's bigger. You're like, wait, let me just touch that and put my finger in there while the propellers are spinning. Yeah, so you lose your fingers. So yeah, and that's pretty much it with that. That's the setup I have here. I'm going to be putting together another video, installing another buzzer with 2 wires and just putting that theory to the test to see if actually the 2 buzzer wire will actually be a buzz kill, where we can just control it the way we were just controlling it now without having to be on, I believe, UART 6. UART 6 has all the connections ready for the LED, but it's already being used. And it said you could use UART 3 if you remove the the little beads, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I don't want to like spend too much time camping with the soldering iron on the flight controller board. You don't want to spend too much time doing that. And that's pretty much it. These are the settings for me, as you can see, to be in control, to fly. I don't know, just, have fun flying. Have fun, without having to worry about that bullet time experience in angle mode. Now, when you go into acro, it's a whole other beast. You're still going to have to be on your toes. It just won't work well in a smaller, tighter setting in the beginning, and then later on you will just work the magic. Well, that's pretty much it. Kind of neat, huh? Gotta love it. Anyway, hope this video helped you. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below, or ideas for other videos. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.